And then just pick a relevant reaction clip.
Okay, I got it.
Are you sure?
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
All right, then, let's do this.
There's the American dream and the California dream. There's no Alabama dream. Eat your heart out, Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. This is California. The world looks to us to see that it's possible to live, advance, and prosper together across every conceivable difference. It's what makes this state great, that we don't tolerate that diversity as we once had, but we truly can look today and talk in terms of how we celebrate that diversity.
Hi, guys. I called on this press conference to let everyone know that I am, in fact, retarded. I know most of you already knew that, but just in case any of you still has any doubt whatsoever on whether I'm a retard or not, I want you to know that I am retarded. Oh, and Gavin Newsom is also retarded. He's super retarded. Oh, and every single Democrat, too. All Democrats are retarded. That's it.
I fucking knew it.
This is my impression of Abraham Lincoln carrying 2 very full cups of water. Or wait, hold on, stop, wait. Sorry.
My fellow Americans, it is with overwhelming enthusiasm that I am declaring that anyone who protests or interferes with ICE and their operations is officially gay, big time. With that being said, go ahead and call your dads, tell them about your alternative lifestyle as a gay communist, and then, who knows, maybe eat a lollipop. I don't know what flamers do with their time, but I'd imagine it's something along those lines. Maybe decorate a bathroom, who knows? In either case, this is who you are now, and everybody knows it. Cat's out of the bag.
He was born preparing guacamole. He complains about Americans while wearing an LA Dodgers hat and eating hot Cheetos. He can only speak Spanish unless you owe him money. He had a mustache before puberty and a kid before graduation. He once tunneled under the border, got bored halfway, and opened a taco stand. He's been deported 14 times, but hasn't left once. He served Coca-Cola at his brother's funeral, who died from diabetes. He protests being sent back to Mexico while waving a bigger Mexican flag than the embassy has. He fries beans, then for some reason, fries them again. He hates gringos until his daughter brings one home. Then it's better than a Moreno. He doesn't smuggle drugs. He smuggles Tupperware full of Malay. He packs hot sauce for international flights, just in case the food is white. He spends 99% of a soccer match faking an injury. He mows everyone's yard, except his own. His cousin is always on his way, and has been for 3 years. He keeps his dog on the roof, and calls it security. His first words were, "No mames," and he hasn't stopped saying it since. He is the most Mexican man in the world.
Dos Equis, I don't drink that shit. I drink liters of pulque. Stay undocumented, my friend.
That actually was pretty funny.
You don't have to go to hell. You're in hell. This is hell. This is hell. This is hell.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Then strangled them, and finally dismembered their bodies.
Right.
Then do
And homelessness and all that.
And now, the voice you've been waiting for.
There is a secret song at the center of the world, and its sound is like razors through flesh. I'm here to turn up the volume.
I'm kind of retarded.
There was 3 different No Kings protests within a 15-mile radius of where I live, and if I would have thought there was a decent chance of things going crazy at any of them, I probably would have gone down to check it out. I had briefly considered it, and then the fact that the heat index was going to be over 100 degrees, and also this is Florida, and the cops here don't really put up with shit the way they do in some other places. And I think a lot of that is actually protecting the protesters, because here, if you start blocking traffic and surrounding cars, you're probably going to get shot. We had from county sheriffs all the way on up to the governor basically saying as much.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida.
So what do you know? Surprise, surprise. As far as I know, none of the protests in Florida turned violent. And even in all the other states. I wasn't really expecting things to be crazy during the day, but I figured, hey, after the sun goes down, that's typically when the crackhead ninja retards come out. And I was expecting more, especially after the way it had been all hyped up and the media running cover for these people all week. Funny thing about these Antifa kids, they're out there doing their thing, trying to burn down and overthrow the whole system, and they know they're a subversive element, they know the shit they be doing, and then they watch the billion-dollar media networks bending over backwards to run cover for them, and it doesn't make them suspicious at all. I guess maybe even I underestimated just how stupid these fucking kids are. Of course, Crybaby Kimmel had to weigh in on it all.
You know what? You see here, we have a full house tonight, as we always do here at our studio in Hollywood, which might be surprising for those of you in other parts of the country who've been watching cable news and believe this city is some kind of totalitarian hellscape right now. It most certainly is not. In fact, let's take a look outside, because I want you to see what it's like in Hollywood right now. You won't see this elsewhere on television. Not only is it not an apocalypse, they're having a Disney Pixar movie premiere right now for Elio, a movie about aliens. Don't tell Trump, he'll send the Green Berets in too, but...
Yes, it's all made up, and somehow showing that people in certain parts of LA are just going about their normal business proves that it's not out of control anywhere, and we'll just pretend like all the footage of people throwing rocks and bricks and setting cars on fire, well, those are somehow all just cheap fakes.
I'm very angry, I have to say. I cannot believe what's going on. I knew it was going to be bad. I did not know it was going to be this bad. People who've lived here their whole lives, people who've been in this city longer than I have, the vast majority of whom have never done anything wrong, are being abducted, which is the correct word to use, by agents in masks, hiding their identities, grabbing people off the street and at work, sending people to detention centers, and to protest that, which is not only our right as Americans, it's our responsibility. Los Angelinos have been gathering to demonstrate, and with very few exceptions, peacefully demonstrate, to voice their opposition to this disgusting and unnecessary abuse of power instigated by our mentally ill president, who is dead set on exacerbating this, who actually wants conflict, who is intentionally inflaming and lying to make it seem like there's a war going on here. He wants there to be a war going on here, and he doesn't care who gets hurt in it. There's no riot outside. We have more so-called unrest here when one of our teams wins a championship. But that's not what you're seeing on TV. Someone sets a fire in a garbage can, 12 camera crews go running toward it. Trump wants it to seem like anarchy, so he goes around, our governor, and he calls in 4,000 troops from the National Guard and 700 active-duty Marines. You know, when we had the wildfires that devastated big chunks of our city, he did absolutely nothing. Now that we're in the middle of a non-emergency, send in the National Guard.
Yeah, the fires happened before he was inaugurated, retard. And I think out of all the insane sound bites I heard this week, this has got to be the best.
It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
What did you say?
It is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
Wow.
Leave these poor people alone. Can't you see they're just trying to have a little fun and watch some cars burn? And I did also enjoy that video of the horseback cop beating a dude with a wooden sword. I had no idea they used those kind of things. It's called a bokken, and it's a wooden samurai sword that's used for training and sparring. That being said, getting whacked in the fucking head with one is no fun. But yeah, overall, the No Kings protest ended up being way less of... That's good.
I knew you would like that one.
I do. But yeah, anyways, the protest ended up being a lot less eventful than what I was expecting. If not just from the threat of somebody trying to pull something off to kick off a civil war, there was also the fun new angle of getting to worry about a retaliatory thing from some Iranian sleeper cell. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. But first, when I woke up on Saturday, one of the first things I did was check for the latest news on Israel and Iran trading missiles. But I started seeing it all over my feed about 2 lawmakers being shot in Minnesota. And this is another one of them stories that is just chock full of weird and doesn't add up at all. So the police respond to a state senator and his wife being shot, and they actually ended up surviving. And the police thought, well, you know, just down the road, there's a state representative. She was actually Speaker of the House in Minnesota. So they just decided maybe we should go check on her. By the time they get there, the state rep is dead, and the dude is coming out the front door dressed like a cop. He immediately starts shooting at him. They exchange fire. He runs back in the house and then presumably out the back door where he escapes on foot.
You gotta be shitting me.
And they're trying to paint this guy who was appointed by none other than Tampon Timmy to be on a workforce development board, well, that he's actually a right-wing guy who's doing this because of abortion.
We even asked about Mr. Bolter's political affiliations, and David Carlson, once again his roommate and best friend, known him since 4th grade, did say Bolter voted for Trump and that he was a strong supporter.
It's a total fabrication. It never happened. We made this one up.
Yeah, I'm not really buying that shit. The very first interview the guy did, he was saying, oh, well, he's not political at all. I mean, he used to be against abortion and talk about that a lot, but that was back in the 90s. We hadn't even talked about anything political in years and years and years. Oh, but then shortly after that, he's doing interviews saying, oh, yeah, he was a big Trump supporter. He voted for Trump, and he listened to InfoWars. And there was all these articles about how dare these right-wing influencers suggest that maybe this was a left-wing guy. And whenever the details are so vague and the police start pretending like they're clueless about motive when they found a fucking manifesto and a hit list, and then the news starts in with a, well, we don't want to speculate. Oh, but then CNN reported that according to an anonymous official who has seen the list was all a bunch of people who were pro-abortion. Okay, sure. And I guess all the No Kings flyers that he had in his car, well, it's because he was going to do a false flag against the left. Yeah, because that's something that people on the right do. I mean, everybody knows the Jussie Smollett story. It's definitely the most famous, but it is far from the only example. I mean, you remember the Mizzou poop swastikas? Or the noose in Bubba Wallace's NASCAR garage?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
And down here in South Florida, when they had somebody calling in bomb threats to a bunch of synagogues and Jewish centers, well, they finally caught up to the guy, and guess who it was? I'm sure I have an unconscious bias against this, but I can't even remember the last time that a right-wing person got caught doing some shit like that, staging something to be the victim. I'm sure it has happened. If somebody knows of an instance, please put it in the comments. Something else the right doesn't do nearly as much is politically motivated violence. And I don't know if any of you realize, but this shooting, 8 years to the day of the congressional softball shooting. I don't know, maybe that is just a coincidence. And there has been mention that this guy was actually working with somebody else. And I'm not really sure where that talk even came from, but it sure was weird that he got into a firefight with officers, then managed to escape on foot, and it took him 48 hours to find him. It's also a little bit weird to me that he had a house with a roommate who was his lifelong friend, in addition to the house he lived in with his wife, whom he's still with. But it's definitely just a coincidence that, in addition to him being appointed to a board by Tim Walz, his wife interned for him back when he was a congressman. But yeah, according to his lifelong friend, he was a Trump voter. And why was it being reported that his wife got pulled over by the cops and she had a car full of relatives, guns, ammo, and all their passports?
That's suspicious.
That's weird.
And as for this new war that just so happened to kick off on Friday the 13th, technically it was still the 12th in the US, but at the time Israel launched their attack, the local time was the wee hours of Friday the 13th. And immediately you had Israeli officials come out and say, yeah, Trump knew about it the whole time. The whole widely reported rift between him and Netanyahu was all just theater, so that we could catch the Iranians off guard. And sure as hell no one from the White House is refuting that. This is going to end up being a pivotal moment, not just for geopolitical relations, but for Trump's very legacy.
Oh, Johnny, did you back the wrong horse?
And the people that are defending this move, very disturbing to see so many on the right defend Iran. What are you defending exactly? Saying that I don't want to be involved in a war with Iran isn't defending Iran. Fucking asshat. For the good things I've said about this one in the past, about her vetting people that are in the White House and around Trump that shouldn't be, lately she's been on a roll of non-stop stupid, saying that, oh yeah, we need to deploy Palantir AI so that we can deal with these illegals in Los Angeles.
Are you fucking retarded? The hell's the matter with you?
If you do a search through her tweets of every time she's mentioned Palantir, you get a lot of hits. All last year, she was talking shit about how Palantir was founded and run by people who are anti-Trump right up until the moment where they knew he was going to win and then started kissing his ass. But all of a sudden, she wants to deploy them to help with the fucking riots. It's like the Patriot Act bullshit all over again.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
And for all the intelligence and estimates on how many ballistic missiles and rockets Iran had in their arsenal, Iran came back and said,
Surprise, motherfucker.
We've been stockpiling these things for a good while for a rainy day such as this. Now we can do this shit all year. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what they said, is they can sustain these missile attacks for the next 6 months. And a good number of these missiles go right past that Iron Dome, which is not going to matter anyway once they run out of interceptors. And China is lining up behind Iran. Pakistan is warning that they'll nuke Israel if Israel nukes Iran. And they're also calling on the entire Muslim world to unite, team up, and work together to fight against Israel. And supposedly the Trump administration has been telling several Middle East allies that we are not going to get involved directly in this unless Americans get targeted. But first of all, is this just more bullshit? And second of all, you're basically saying, hey, well, you know, if you want to drag us into this war, then stage an attack on Americans and say it was Iranians. It's like when Trump was saying, oh, well, the Iranians want me dead, so if I get assassinated, I've left instructions to flatten Iran. Oh, great, so now they could kill you, blame Iran, and it's two birds with one stone. And Netanyahu's doing interviews saying that retardy Oswald and the bastard son of Gary Busey were actually working for the Iranians.
Bullshit.
This whole thing is lining up to go very badly, unless somebody backs down in a real serious way, and I don't really see that happening. Like I said before, a whole lot of effort went into setting the stage to have this World War III, so trying to put the brakes on it is going to be a Herculean task to say the least. And right about now, all the signs seem to be pointing to the same thing.
It has begun!
So this might be a good time to keep your shitting pants handy. Sláinte.
All I have in this world is my thoughts and my words, and I don't break them for no one. You understand? So say good night to the bad guy. Say good night to the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. Come on.
me! I told you! Don't fuck with me! You stupid fuck! Look at you now! Look at you now!